Good morning. It's Monday, November 13th, and we are in the final week of Scorpio season. We actually have like a week and a couple of days, but essentially we're in kind of the wrap up of all those personal boundaries. And we have so much extra energy this year because the sun and Mars are moving together through those degrees of Scorpio, making those boundaries with the outside world. And we had a nice full and bright Mars opposition to Uranus over the weekend that may have helped you to see so clearly where we want to draw lines and boundaries. Maybe some things sort of broke open to cultivate more freedom or emancipate you from some kind of experience that really wasn't serving the longevity of your sustainability plan. So as we move through the weekend, we really I don't know how everyone else navigated it, but it was a time to really take a breather, to take a look at what has completed. The initiation for this week is the Eight of Water or the Eight of Cups. And traditionally, this Eight of Cups energy is you see these cups all stacked neatly, and then you see this character in the background sort of like walking away. Like, all right, I've done my emotional labor and now I am complete with all of that and I'm walking away. And not because I'm abandoning it, but because it's finally complete. And I remember the year that I wrote this initiation, I really saw a vision of how we use Scorpio season to walk down into the grotto, like the deepest heart space, and that we're looking within the heart space for the Holy Grail, the place in which we drink from the fountain of life, the fountain of unconditional love. And we think that the journey to the heart space is where the Grail resides, and simply getting the Grail and drinking from it is enough. But what we discover this week is that finally receiving the Grail, getting to the Grail space of the heart, that's just the first part. In fact, there's still part of the journey. Once we drink up our own cup of love, our own Holy Grail, there's a journey to share that cup vulnerably with another person. And so we drink the cup of our own understanding, the cup of our own unconditional love. We, initiate ourselves into a space of security. We understand now that we hold this space sacred, and it encourages stronger boundaries or more open boundaries with the outside world. And then we begin the trek through Sagittarius, through Capricorn, through Aquarius, and then into Pisces. And Pisces is essentially the space where we find the final cups of the journey. And those final cups indicate that we finally we understand that when we love ourselves and we drink from that unconditional love of self, or unconditional acceptance and awareness of self, that is truly a beginning point for the journey of true connection, true union with the other and with spirit and within, I don't know, the more divine ideal relationship that we have with life. So we're using this week to kind of take stock of the fact that we've gotten here. Be proud of how harrowing the journey was to the cup of self-love, what it took to get us here. It's kind of a moment to pause and just celebrate the accomplishments of even arriving in the grotto of the heart. And I actually had a chiropractic appointment yesterday, and she was like, I was explaining all of these growth and movements that are happening in my life, and she's like, have you taken some time to really receive that and take it in and celebrate, or are you already off to the next thing? And I was like, oh, you're right. I totally was like, all right, I've got to keep the momentum and off to the next thing, and like let's keep going. But there is a moment where it's good to stack the journey, really reflect on the journey, and let that nourish, let us drink it in all the way. And so in addition to kind of watery initiation, we have something really strong happening astrologically for Mars, for the masculine principle. And this whole week is about the masculine being reborn. And I'm not just talking about men, I'm talking about the masculine principle within ourselves, the Mars principle at large. And the reason why I'm saying that is because every 2.5 years, Mars does a walk with the sun. It does this strong, it's called a cazimi, Mars cazimi. It's when this planet is sort of reborn. And this is happening all week long. The sun and Mars continue to take steps forward together all week long. And so what is this, a rebirth, or what does it mean for our masculine principle to be reborn? Basically, the masculine principle is the structure of the stories we've been telling. It's the way we define ourselves. It's the behaviors that we have because of those things, because of our stories and our identity. It's like the guiding principles that we hold our life to. And so this is a week where we're actually being reborn into a whole new story, a whole new heroes or heroines journey. We could even change the archetypes of our lives, the archetypal story of our life altogether this week, where instead of it being some kind of hero's journey where we have to overcome all of these obstacles, what if it's a magician's journey and we're like, we're changing the narrative altogether. We're not the hero, we're the magician. We're not the like having to kill all the dragons and face all the fears and, you know, go through all this like hardship in order to win the prize or the treasure. What if that archetypal arch is even not a part of our new narrative? What if we truly do give ourselves the space in the next long cycle to redefine what those stories for us are really about? And so we could find ourselves, if we take an inventory and we really stack, like, yeah, I completed that story. I finished that up. That I don't know if I want to tell that story in my life anymore or whatever. I mean, maybe it served us, but we get a chance to re-up if we liked it, or change it altogether if we didn't. So that I think over the weekend was that initial shakeup of the old story. We got a little burst or a wake-up call with Mars and Sun opposite Uranus. And then on Sunday, the words I actually had for Sunday, with the moon still in Scorpio, coming to a new moon, was just adjusting to these new changes, adjusting to this new narrative, maybe considering how it could be different now, playing visionary games. Like if something happened on Saturday that felt disruptive to a security system, or something that maybe you knew was outdated, but you know, you kind of needed the extra push to consider other options, Sunday might have been this little bubble of time where you can reconsider what all the different things that are possible. And on Monday, which is today, there was actually energy this morning. It was Black Moon Lilith in a square to Mercury. There may have been a little moment this morning where a minor rejection or a minor trigger would have caused you to really double down on your new inner boundaries and have them officially activated. So if it didn't happen this morning, congratulations. It would have been Mercury in Sag. So it would have been some like strong claim or some words, maybe fiery words, that may have triggered a sense of like, oh, that's a little rejection-y or uncomfortable for me. But if we can frame it from a space of, you know what, the world, the universe, life is always trying to help realign me toward what I'm ultimately seeking, what I'm ultimately meant to be experiencing, what I ultimately desire to experience. So if anything is shifting or triggering or adjusting in our life, we can actually see it as a gift, and we can understand that reinforces the new inner boundaries we have around our faith in ourselves, or our unconditional love with ourselves. We can't let the outside world shake that unconditional love now that we've tasted it. So on Tuesday, the moon will move into, also the sun is like opposite Uranus this whole time. So just be aware, like, even though this morning might have invited a little whatever, we're in the window of becoming aware, having surprising revelations. And all the revelations we're having this week are to continue to encourage the boundary of self-love that we hold for ourselves. And so on Tuesday, the moon will move into Sagittarius. And every time the moon moves into Sagittarius, I ask the same question: what is true now with these new boundaries? The new boundaries that we've cultivated with the new moon in Scorpio, with this whole Scorpio season. What is true now with these new boundaries? So it's a great time to reflect on that Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Mars and the sun will continue to be conjunct. They're going to be trine to Neptune on Wednesday. The words I have here are, massive renewal of our masculine divinity and drive. Massive renewal of our masculine divinity and drive. So in some ways, our masculine divinity or drive or behavior or story could be very strongly invigorated, could be like whatever was remaining from the previous story just gets burned off, and we just have this like, natural progression into this new way of being, this new way of telling our story. And I think it will be connected to something that feels destined, it feels preordained or fated because of the Neptune alignment. Or at least maybe we'll get a glimpse of like, oh, that's why that happened. That was actually helping me. Okay. Wow, good. Because it's like the destiny piece will finally kind of click into place on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, the moon will move into Capricorn. And I have here that we have a new legacy potential opening up, a whole new way, because here we've adjusted to these new changes. We've shifted our inner boundaries toward officially like holding the self-love as the primary position. We've let that inform these new ways of being, this new story. And because of all of that, the new legacy potential is going to shift. Like, what is possible now? And on Friday, we step into our fate. The moon will cross, it'll still be in Capricorn, it'll cross Pluto. I feel like this will be a moment where we are acting in the direction of our legacy, and we actually take that forward progression, that forward commitment to step into our destiny or our fate, the thing that we knew we were aligning to this whole time. And then on Saturday, the moon will move into Aquarius. The words I have here are, I was like, what in the world is that word? Destiny is now through our connections. So something that's different about this next long cycle is our legacy is not just about what we've mastered. Remember, we're taking the journey from the heart space toward the outside world now. And so what we're understanding and aligning to this week is that our destiny includes the connections that we have with other people now. So it could be that we are stepping out of our comfort zone into more network connections. We're collaborating more fully with other people. We're helping to we're tapping into what could happen, what could be possible when we share that cup of love of ourselves so boldly in a way that will be amplified by community. So that is the trajectory I see moving forward. You know, as I look a little forward into Sagittarius season, the Sagittarius season is designed, it's a mutable fire. So we've just we've just sent an arrow of manifestation out in Libra. That was an intention that we pressed out into the world toward relationship, toward right relationship, toward a new paradigm of relationship. Then that arrow moved through the depths of Scorpio. It had to go through the secrets and the mystery and disentangling it from anything that is not absolutely pure and true for where we're going. And now it's landing in Sagittarius, and there will be some new epiphany, some new awareness that comes from this cycle as we move into Sagittarius season that will maybe shift our passion in a certain way. It'll enliven us to take that fiery energy into the new cycle, into Capricorn season and beyond. So I see that the awarenesses or the epiphanies that we start landing on after this week, those are going to shape the 2024 year of Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's going to shape a lot of the new world, new reality that is essentially the beginning of the next 20-year cycle. So it's a very beautiful week to go inward with contemplation and prepare for receiving those epiphanies and that passion. So I'm really all here for it. I'm very excited about it. And I have a couple of announcements. The first announcement is my friend Tara is publishing a book. She is releasing her book and having an author conversation about it at 1:00 Pacific time on November 27th. That's a Monday, November 27th on Instagram. Her name is Tara Davis. Her book is called Becoming Tara. And I'll be talking with her. Amanda Johnson is going to be talking with her. Lynn Morgan Carpenter is going to be talking with her. We've been with her while she's been writing this book, and it's such a privilege to watch her bring it into the world and to share. So if you're on Instagram, please follow her and tune into that. You will not want to miss this. In addition to that, by 2024 reading aheads, they have been selling like crazy this year. Thank you so much for supporting that. I have one left in December on the 15th. I have one reading left at the moment of this reading. There's one left, and there are 7 left in January. So if you're interested in doing that, please grab those in December or most likely January by this time. And I'll continue recording them, but I know a lot of people love to get them as the year's beginning. I just wanted to kind of give a little PSA on that. And thank you so much for tuning in each week. I feel so privileged and honored that I get to guide and serve you as the weeks go by. And yeah, that's all. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you next week.